making a YouTube video that is just me talking because I feel like I want the thoughts that I have to go somewhere other than just in like a journal or something. So I'm putting them on YouTube. Um, I wanted to talk about math, doing math, and how it seems like people I'm really sad about the where math is in like the public opinion, like the public zeitgeist of mathematics, because it seems like people are like a vast majority of people are sort of like having a negative opinion of math, and I think that's upsetting to me. It's almost like there's like anti-math sentiment. Like I think that people are even proud of the fact that they don't do math or that they don't care about it. And there's also this idea that if you do like it, then you have something wrong with you or you're like autistic or something. I don't know. But there's like this idea that it's like you have to be this sort of special kind of person or have some kind of like that kind of personality to like math. Um, yeah, what do I even say? Where do I begin about this? People kind of struggle with the idea of math being something that is like good for you to do intrinsically, um, compared to like physical acuity, I guess you could say. Like, I'm struggling to find a way to talk about this without bringing up school, because school is usually where people get their sort of hatred of math or dislike of math from, is from the way that they are exposed to it in school. So a lot of what I know, like what people say, is from school. And a thing that people would always say, what am I saying here? And the thing is that there's other subjects in school that people don't struggle as much to understand the point of. Like, the best example I can think of for this case is like PE. Like, if you're doing PE and, you know, your coach or whoever tells you to like do push-ups, you don't ask yourself, you know, like what do I need to do push-ups for? You know, cuz that's like a thing, right? With math is like, when am I ever going to need to do this? When is this ever going to be useful for me? Like, am I going to have is a cop going to pull me over and ask me to recite the Pythagorean theorem? You know, you hear stuff like that a lot, or like, I never used math once after I got out of high school. And it's like, okay, but that kind of misses the point. Like, it doing math is like, in my opinion, it's like means to an end. Just like how when you go to this gym and you fucking lifting weights and shit, you're not lifting weights because you're going to be tested on your ability to lift weights at some point in the future. You do it because you have this desire to be strong, you know, like, or physically fit, or maybe look good or something like that. And so that is like the implicit goal when you are like working out or whatever, right? Is like that's what you want. But with math, people don't really get that doing math, it's kind of like a workout for your brain. Like, it actually makes your reasoning skills generally stronger in ways that you wouldn't be. It's like not immediately obvious to you. Like, so you know, mathematical intuition, right? Like, for instance, when you wake up in the morning and it's 6:50 a.m. and you have to be at work at 7:30, you don't like take the difference of what time it is now, or like what time it will be from what time it is now, and then like calculate how long it's going to take to get ready and get to work. You just sort of feel like, oh shit, I'm going to be late, because you have the intuition, because you've done the repetition and you can see that that's what's going to happen. You can feel that that's what's going to happen. That kind of intuition, and that's like, you know, that's just like arithmetic. But if you have intuition for like more complex, like more abstract math, like algebraic math, that manifests itself in like all these different ways. It makes you like a more patient, more thoughtful person. And I feel like that's something that people don't really value about doing math. You know, they don't really see it like that. Um, and I don't blame people for not really thinking about stuff like this because school does a really terrible job of actually explaining it to you in a way that would make sense. Like in school, the most you ever get from anyone really is like, well, you got to learn it because it's going to be on the test. Like that's what it comes down to. There might be some kind of like, oh, it'll help you in your life generally somehow, but it's never explained explicitly what you're actually doing when you're learning how to do math. And yeah, I think that that leads to, yeah, so it's like, you know, you're told these things, oh, it's going to be on the test. So the logical next question is like, why do I have to do the test? Why am I being tested on this right now? What does this matter to me? What is this going to do for my life? And that never gets answered properly. I think that if more people were convinced properly that doing math and thinking mathematically can like lead you to being like a better, like more caring, more thoughtful person, generally it can make your mental stronger, your mental acuity stronger, that they would be more inclined to do it. They would want to learn it, and they wouldn't be under the same kind of immense pressure that school puts on you as a student to learn it, to do good, to get a good grade. If that's all you're doing it for, you're just doing it to get a good grade. It's just not going to feel like something you actually want to do. You're not ascertaining anything from that. So I think, I think it would be cool to be a math educator. I kind of fantasize about it, about, teaching it to people, on like making it like a personal thing, making it more of like this is your personal journey of learning math right now. I don't really have the skill or experience to do that. Like I said, I'm still a student, um, and I don't really think I want to make a career out of that either. Um, but yeah, I still want to show people, start with like elementary math, because people don't realize how much elementary math they don't know. Like, just because of the way that it's taught. Like, why does two negative numbers multiplied with each other make a positive number? Have you ever thought about that? Does that matter to you? Maybe not. But have you ever known why? They probably didn't tell you. They were just like, yeah, that's how it is. That's when you're multiplying fractions, you take the top times the top, bottom times the bottom. When you're adding them, you have to find the common factor on the bottom, and it's like, okay, why? That why just never gets answered. It gets taken away into this abstract place so quickly, and there's nobody that actually teaches it to you correctly. So it very quickly becomes this sort of like cookbook math. Like, I don't know why I'm doing this. I don't care about why I'm doing this. All I know is it's step one, then step two, then step three, and then I got it in the shape that you wanted me to get it in. So now I'm done. Hooray. Kids aren't stupid. High schoolers, they're not dumb. Um, but they get led astray by the system of like school. And I think that teachers also do as well, because they're just there to get a paycheck a lot of the time. So they don't really have like the personal investment to teach the stuff necessarily. They might be capable of doing it, but it may not matter to them in a way that it should. Like if you're actually trying to inspire these kids into, liking the math the same way that they would be inspired to like history or reading or anything like that. School does a really bad job of inspiring people to like math. Um, and it becomes more prevalent the further up like the skill tree of math that you go. Like if you're taking a more advanced class, like I'm in discrete math in college right now, which is not super advanced, but it's intermediate. It's journeyman level math, and my professor fucking sucks. And I don't need to go into too much detail about it right now, but he just has like this air of like, if you aren't intellectually inclined to do this math, then you're just like an everyman. You know, you're just like a plebeian. And it just generally seems to me like the more of a brainiac you are, the more that you're going to be likely to feel like that. I think that people who actually make it and like learn the math, or they just have an inclination for it, sort of become covetous of that. It becomes maybe part of their identity, and so they don't want to teach other people. They don't want to share it with other people because it makes them feel special that they're smart. And so, and there's already remarkably few people that even get that far in the first place. So we just end up with like people resenting math for that reason. So yeah, that's basically my thoughts on the matter. I'm sure if I sat here, I could, come up with more things to say and think about, but you get the gist at this point. Um, yeah, if you got to this point in the video and you liked it, I would hope if you got this far in the video, you liked it. That you know, let me know what you thought in the comments. If you have anything to add to that conversation, and yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. So, thank you for listening to me ramble about it. Appreciate it.